that has no Portland cement. And the problem for everyone out there, the problem with Portland cement is it is very high on the carbon footprint for building. Whereas lime is much lower, and at the end of the life cycle, 5, 6, 7, 800, 1,000 years of this house, you can just plow it into the ground. You don't have to take it to the dump site. Our dumps are filled with over 50% of construction materials. Wow. There is zero waste. When we build with this, everything gets used. And if there's a little bit lying around, you can put it in the front yard for fertilizer. Wow. It's pretty amazing.
Now you got...
I have a question.
Yes.
So I heard, like you said, you found this in Europe. Have they been doing this for years? Like how long have they been doing this?
A little old lady in France.
You're talking about the isocyanate.
Yes, yeah, yes.
But recently, has it started to get more traction?
Oh, absolutely.
Recently?
The UK government has just licensed 230 affordable homes to be built. They're subsidizing that because Europe's standards, green standards, are so much stricter than they are in the United States. My partner Greg Clavel just got back from Holland, where he'll be building a house in Holland that's EU funded. We've been to Switzerland to see their building. France is doing a lot of this. It pretty much originated in France. You're getting the binder out of Barcelona. Europe it's becoming more and more mainstream in Europe right now. And also, I haven't had a chance to mention this, but it's fantastic for animal bedding. Okay, because it can absorb up to 4 times as much moisture, and you don't have the smell. It absorbs the smell. The cellulose properties of the shiv of the industrial hemp plant, which is the woody part of the stalk, is much different than any other animal, any other plant that we're now using. So it has some amazing qualities that, I mean, I'm sure once George starts growing it, we'll find 24,000 more products to build. There's over 24,000 products right now on the market made out of industrial hemp.
Wow. I can't wait.
Yeah.
So help us.
It's coming soon. The torch has been lit. It's just going to happen now. I mean, this fall will be the beginning. In your process, all you're really doing with the hemp is chopping it to a certain degree, maybe 3/4 of an inch, 3/8 of an inch, right there. You know, so it's you don't have much more of a process other than that than mixing. And this is something almost like you could take a bag of this and go home, mix it like you could mix cement and make your product.
Absolutely.
Which makes it mobile, transportable. You can do it anywhere.
Absolutely. The expensive part of this is the decortication, which is separating the fiber from the woody shiv that's up here that anyone can have a look at afterwards. But as Tim mentioned, it's a pretty easy process that you could make at home. You could buy these in bales, but there is no waste in the processing. The dust from the separation gets put into calorific logs, and they sell that to the energy companies to burn instead of coal. Yes.
Dave!
How you doing?
Good. Isn't it true that there's no reason to decorticate to make your product?
Well, we do have...
As far as I know, if it's up to 20% pure fiber, it works just as well as a matrix for all the products that you're talking about.
Right.
On top of this, the reason why it is so wonderful with the lime that you mentioned is because it gives it a flex that the cement does not do. That's why...
Can you please identify yourself, because here is a real expert.
My name is Dave Sieber. One of my company's names is Fiber Alternatives. I actually worked with Madame Perrier and visited her back in 1994.
From France.
When she first brought out this process, and have been working on it ever since. So I just wanted to add to the things that Dave is saying, in that there's an incredible interaction that happens between the hemp and the lime, in that it actually gives a flexibility to the building, so that not only is it somewhat resistant to things like earthquakes, but it doesn't crack over time. And when you see these pictures in Europe of all these old towns where you see these framed buildings and these quaint buildings, that stuff in between is this. It's not cement because the cement cracks. This, and what happens is it has a give to it.
I didn't put him out there, folks. He came all by himself.
So literally, it resets itself. And that's how come it can last so long.
Don't go away. I want to talk to you afterwards. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes. He's done a lot of work for him, this man. Yes. Can you grab the microphone because it's very difficult?
Your website's my homepage.
Thank you.
Is anybody manufacturing long span panels for structural use equivalent to plywood, and how do they compare in cost, lifespan, etc.?
Well, there is one company in Los Angeles working on that, and they're not using toxic glues. I don't know where that is right now, but we do have some samples of this board. I'm glad you're here. Thanks. Can you put that microphone a little closer to your face?
The name of that company is called Hemp Traders.
Yeah, Hemp Traders.
I am working with them in a consultant capacity.
Yes.
On developing the manufacturing process over in China. And the truth of it is that we don't really know, and I'm saying we loosely, in that Larry Serban from Hemp Traders has really taken this on and has done a tremendous amount of work over there to try and get this mill, quote unquote, up to snuff. I've tried to help him to understand what it takes in order to make a viable product for our market. And so the truth of it is that something is going to come out that's somewhere between a particle board and a medium density fiber board. And it's actually going to be determined by the end use of who the customer is, who wants it. And whereas the fiber board of the particle boarding will be a little weaker and used for different kind of products than the medium density fiber board.
Right.
And again, it's going to depend on who's going to be that end customer. But there is...
Dan, isn't it true that Larry Serban from Hemp Traders was a part of the innovation of using a natural resin to bind the herd together?
He actually found a resin that's non-formaldehyde.
It was eucalyptus bark boiled or something. And anyway, but it was a step away from the old formaldehyde kind of base.
The truth of it is that Larry was right in parallel with what happened in the whole industry.
Right,
the truth of it is that,
he's amazing.
That the Environmental Department of the state of California announced last year that formaldehyde is illegal as of a certain date in all building products. So therefore, every single panel manufacturer in the whole country is switching over to non-formaldehyde binders. So it just so happened that a whole plethora, if you will, of different kinds of compounds have come out that are no longer toxic because they won't take it.
Yeah, that's thankful for that. Yeah, after the time.
I have the information on Hemp Traders. If you want it afterwards, I'll give it to you.
Is that what this
I don't know if he was finished with his question or not.
No, this is a
I think so. Does anybody else have any questions?
the world's first.
Well, you can't do it underground. It has to be above grade because it's breathable.